Greetings. In this video I will show you how to configure a host name for a Cisco 2960 switch. If you are new to this channel, you should subscribe so you do not miss any new videos. Also, if this video was beneficial, please like and share. Thanks. So without further delay, let's begin. Now the demonstration will be done using the Cisco Packet Tracer version 7.1. However, the concept will be relatively the same on a Cisco router. Okay, also the command will work just the same on a physical Cisco switch or a physical Cisco router. So the first thing I'm going to do is load the Cisco Packet Tracer. Right now, the next thing I'm going to do is add the Cisco 2960 switch to the work area, as well as the end device, specifically a generic computer. So let's do that. So I'm going to go here, click on network devices, then I'm going to click on switches, and I'm going to look for the 2960 switch here. So here it is. I'm going to click on it once, and then I'm going to click in the work area and click once. Then I'm going to go to end devices. I'm going to click it once, and I'm going to look for an end device, and I'm going to use this laptop here. Right, so I'm going to click on it once, and then I'm going to go in the work area and I'm going to click once. Right, next I will connect the computer to the switch using a console cable. So I'm going to click on the connection symbol here, then I'm going to go to the console cable, which is this one. I'm going to click on it once, then I'm going to go up to the laptop. I'm going to click the laptop symbol or icon once, then I'm going to click on the RS232 port. I'm going to click it once, then I'm going to go over to the switch. I'm going to click it once, then I'm going to go up to the console port and I'm going to click it once. So at this point in time, the laptop or the generic computer has been connected to the switch. Now to gain access to the switch, I will use a terminal emulator to connect. When you're using a physical device, a good terminal emulator is PuTTY or OpenSSH. However, in Packet Tracer, the terminal emulator is called Terminal. So what I'm going to do now is click on the generic computer icon, which is called Laptop PT Laptop 3. So I'm going to double click. Right, then I'm going to go to desktop and I'm going to look for the terminal emulator, which is called Terminal. So it's this one. I'm going to click on it once and I'm going to leave these as the default. Now when you're using a physical device or physical devices and you're connecting using PuTTY or OpenSSH, these settings will also be default. You don't need to change anything here. So at this point in time, what I'm going to do now is click on OK, and what has occurred is that the terminal emulator has now connected to the switch. So at this point in time, I can issue command to the switch, or I can control the switch using this terminal emulator. Right, so what I'm going to do is press the enter key on my keyboard. Right, so at this point in time, I am in what they call the user mode. Now for me to set a host name, right, for this switch, I need to go in what we call the global configuration mode. So for me to get to the global configuration mode, I need to first go into the privilege exit mode. So to go into the privilege exit mode, I'm going to type the command enable, right, or you can shorten it by typing en, right, and press enter. So at this point in time, I am in what is called the privilege exec mode. Now to move into the global configuration mode, to execute the command to set the host name for this switch, I'm going to enter the command config space t, right, and I'm going to press enter. So at this point in time, I'm in what we call the global configuration mode. So once I'm here, I can now execute the hostname command. Right, the hostname command is used to set a name for the switch. Right, so what I'm going to do now is execute the hostname command, and I'm going to type host name space, and I'm going to type the name that I want to give to this switch. Now before I do that, one thing I want to show you on this line here, the command line here, do you realize the two word switch config? Now as it is, or as it turns out, this switch here is the default name or the default label that is used for the switch, right? Now keep that in mind. Now let's go back and execute the hostname command. So hostname space, I'm gonna call this switch lab1, just giving it a name. In your production environment, you want to name your switches and your routers with meaningful names, right? Not too long, but meaningful. So I'm going to name this switch lab1. So I'm going to type lab1. At this point in time, I'm going to press enter. Now what has happened is that the switch name has changed to lab1, right? So if you look here, right, you guys that it changed from switch to lab1, right? So what I can do is basically go back to the privilege exit mode, and how I will do that is execute the exit command once, right, and that will take me to the privilege exit mode. Now there's a command that you can basically run to see if the host name of the switch has been set, right? And that command is basically the show running config, right, and hit enter. So if you look right here, right here, you see where it says hostname lab1. What this means is that the switch name has been changed to lab1, so this switch is now called lab1. One key thing that you need to remember is that the changes that were done just now is stored in what we call the running config, right? Now if the machine was supposed to be turned off, all the changes that we made would be lost, right? So if I was supposed to turn off this machine now, the switch could not name lab1 anymore. Now to solve that problem, you will have to execute a copy command, and what this will do is basically save the running config in what we call the startup config, right? And if you want more details on the running config and the startup config, please see my video that deals with those topics. Now let me show you how to go about doing this. Now the first thing you're going to do is make sure that you're in the privilege exit mode, and you can know that you're in the privilege exit mode by this little pound sign here, right? Now once you're in the privilege exit mode, you're going to enter copy, and we want to copy the running config to the startup config. Now what this is saying is that we're going to copy all the settings that is in the running config to the startup config. Now once you type this command, you're going to press enter. It will ask you for the destination of the file, and the destination is the startup config. So we're going to press enter once more, and just like that, the running config has been saved in the startup config. So if I was supposed to restart this switch, the host name will remain. And that's it, guys. Thank you.